Welcome to the Toyota Halftime.
The Lakers up by 11 at half. Maria Taylor alongside Jay Williams and Jalen Rose still here with you in New York. Now, the Lakers led it by as many as 22 in that first quarter. What was working well for them to start out this game?
LeBron James being aggressive and their team getting out, scoring in fast break opportunities. That's been a key. When you're the taller basketball team and you're the bigger basketball team, you should also be the faster basketball team, the more athletic basketball team, and the one Jay Williams that gets out in transition. This is why you start Morris versus starting JaVale McGee. Makes you faster, opens up the floor for LeBron James, who was terrific. They terrific from the field. Their turnovers are high. If the Lakers weren't turning the basketball over, they'd be up 20 right now. Luckily, Houston has a chance to get back in it.
Yeah, and Houston has to play faster. Look, in that first series against OKC, they averaged 51 three-point shot attempts. During this series with the Lakers, only 30. So you need to play faster and stop letting the Lakers settle into their half-court defense. It's destroying them.
All right, you guys said, was it you or Paul? They have to have 70 points, Russ and Harden combined in order to win
That
the
was
game.
them.
That was them?
I said my number's 10, because that's how much the Lakers going to win by at least.
They got 25 combined.
They got 25 combined so far. All right.
Where's AD?
They have coming back.
Where's
You're right.
Russ?
AD's first shot was after a putback. But let's talk about the bald eagle.
Give me that. White lightning.
This halftime is presented by Toyota.
Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, where the Lakers and a one LeBron James, who's 13-0 when leading a series 3-1. That just means that he's not interested in a Game 7 scenario, but I got to tell you, the Houston Rockets are. The Rockets have lost 5 of their last 6 elimination games, but Harden's trying to change that notion. Meanwhile, Westbrook, read it on his shirt. It says the sky is falling, and that's exactly what will be happening in Houston if the Rockets can't get a win here tonight. We're in countdown for the elimination game between Lakers and Rockets.
Why do you guys seem so flat in 3 quarters?
That's a good question.
Watch what I do next. Watch how I do this.
Should have been since urgency on everybody's part.
LeBron with some English on it.
You got to be able to continue to put the pressure on their defense.
We got to scramble.
Here's Westbrook for 3. Oh, look out.
Seen a lot, did a lot, I ain't forgot.
We got to close out games the right way.
Caruso with a big hit. Up ahead, Rondo all the way. LeBron James throws it down.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Mountain Dew.
And welcome to NBA Countdown, live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Heineken. I'm Maria Taylor. That's Stephen A. Smith, looking good and snazzy.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Okay. We got Jalen Rose with the amazing haircut.
I'm just trying to keep up with you.
Thank you. And
I feel the setup.
We've got Jay Will, who looks like he's sitting in a high chair. That's cute. But we don't have time to get into that right now. we don't have time to address that. We're going to talk about it during the break and get it
touch
fixed.
the ground, y'all.
One of them is. All right, guys, let's take a look at tonight's three-point performance brought to you by Mountain Dew. And while their percentage certainly went up and down, the Celtics, they finished with 87 three-pointers in their series win against the Raptors. That's their second most in a single series in franchise history. They made 94 in 2017, and that was the conference semifinals then for the Celtics. So we know the three-ball finally came and worked for the Celtics, which means a one. Paul Pierce is certainly very, very happy.
The truth.
Y'all see it. I told you. Here we come.
But for real, Paul, how worried were you when it was a 4-point game and we were getting down to like 2 minutes left? I'm just saying.
It was nasty.
I don't know. I was a little worried, but not worried at all. Come on now. It's the Celtics. Come on. We live for these games.
All right, we believe you for sure. But it did set up our Eastern Conference Finals, so let's walk our way through it. It'll be between the Celtics and the Heat. It'll start on Tuesday on ESPN. Boston won 2 of the 3 meetings this season between Miami and the Celtics. And Miami did win their last encounter back on August 4th. But remember, the Celtics are the 3 seed, while the Heat, they're the 5 seed. That means this is the first time since seeding began in 1984 that the Eastern Conference Finals will not feature the top 2 seeds. And Boston and Miami, it's a rivalry that dates back to the meeting in the playoffs for the first time in 2012. That was a conference finals year, and that year the Heat won in 7 games. games over Paul Pierce and those Celtics. So we're looking forward to it. The 3 seed and the 5 seed, Paul, I'm going to let you go first at this one. What jumps out at you about this matchup? What do you expect to see from Heat Celtics?
This is going to be a gritty competition. I mean, you look at the Miami Heat, and I expected, like, if I had to put it in the layman's terms, this is going to be a bar fight. You got two teams who really get after it on the defensive end. They're really skilled players out there, and I just think the Celtics have more talent at the top, but the Heat are a lot deeper. So, you know, it's going to be tough for them. It's not going to be an easy series, but I can see this series easily going 6 or 7 games with Boston eventually pulling it out.
Celtics lottery picks versus the Miami Heat overachievers. If you look at both of these rosters, the Miami Heat only have one player that was drafted in the top 10, and that was Andre Iguodala. Each of the best 4 players on the Boston Celtics were all lottery picks. And both of these teams are actually ahead of the curve. So one of these teams getting to the finals, to me, is a year ahead of what I really anticipated. And when we showed Giannis on that video, it reminded me of why he unfollowed all of his teammates on IG.
Had to break
because a back-to-back MVP with the best record in the game to not be in this situation, I'm pretty sure some frustration there.
I feel like this is a matchup of people who want to take the matchups. Jimmy Butler wants to guard Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown wants to guard Jimmy Butler. Also, when you think about that lineup where they have Dragic, they have Hero, they have Duncan Robinson, you know, Hero's been targeted multiple times in the last series. They will attack him. So whoever Hero's guarding, they're going to get challenged. And, you know, look, Boston has the offensive weapons. The question is, defensively, when it gets gritty, that's where Miami, they live in that area. They live in that stratosphere. So it is going to be a bar fight, and it's going to be a great bar fight to watch. It's a guard's dream to watch this game.
I don't disagree with what everybody says. The person I'm thinking about most is Nick Nurse. Now, why would I bring up Nick Nurse, who was the coach of the Toronto Raptors, and they are home watching the rest of these players because they lost? Here's why. Because that man threw a boxing one on Kemba Walker. And when he did that, the Celtics did not look like the same team. They looked considerably discombobulated compared to what they look like when Kemba is flowing. If I know Eric Spoelstra and I see the Miami Heat being the overachievers, Jalen, that you pointed to, what are you going to do? You're not going to sit up there and try to defy what's successful. You're going to try to emulate that success and make sure that you do whatever you saw work against this opponent because you see how it compromises everything else. Sure, Jalen Brown and Jimmy Butler want to defend one another straight up. Sure, Jason Tatum want to show that he's the new star and he deserves all the shine that he's getting. All of these things are true. But Kemba Walker is a key in this series, particularly with Goran Dragic playing the way that he's played, with Tyler Hero playing the way he's capable of playing, with Kendrick Nunn playing the way that he's playing. And if you are Eric Spoelstra and his coaching staff, and you figure out that throwing a boxing one on Kemba the way Toronto did so discombobulates the Boston Celtics, it could go a long way towards helping Miami, and that's what we've got to watch out for.
I think the only question is, you know, when you think about Toronto, they have that size and they have the length to recover in that boxing one, and the players from Miami are a little bit shorter, but I do agree with you. Different styles of defense to keep Kemba out of the paint, that could be a difference maker.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because the Heat actually zoned the Celtics 20 times per game, and that was up from 9 times per game when they played everybody else in the league. So we'll see whether or not they come back to that in this series. All right, we are getting set for an elimination game for Russell Westbrook and the Rockets. Can they stave off elimination against the Lakers? It will take some good play from Russ here tonight. Remember, the shirt said sky is falling. We hope it's not falling in Houston. But we got plenty more coming your way on NBA Countdown. I had a whole tease written for this, but really the only thing you need to know is Paul Pierce wrote an essay. It's about playoff Rondo, and you need to hear it. That's it.